everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the first time I have filmed with this background, and when I was kind of just test recording then I was like, the lighting is so much better over here. I'm quite new to this YouTube malarkey and I think it works better when the light's in front of you and not behind you, so hopefully this video is going to be a bit better quality than the other videos I've filmed. Today I am filming a book haul for you and I'm so excited to be filming this haul. I love books and I love the fact that I can now show you the books I bought and share them with you and tell you about the ones I like. My little background behind me is my little bookshelf. I got this from Argos. It wasn't expensive, I think it was maybe like £60, and I got it about 9 months ago, and I've always wanted like a full-length bookshelf to display all my books on, and now I've got it and I absolutely love it, and I'm always in the works and online picking up books to go on my shelf. I absolutely love it, so I thought I'll show you a book haul. This is the first one I've done, so I'm going to get into it, and I can't stop looking at the book behind me. I'm going to get into it and show you the books that I have been buying. All the books I have bought in the last couple of weeks, so all of them or most of them should still be in the shops I've got them from, hopefully. So if there's anything you like, you should still be able to get hold of them. So the first book I'm going to show you I actually got on Amazon, so this wasn't a kind of on the high street book. But it was this book, and it's the Lauren Conrad Celebrate book. I love Lauren Conrad. I've got a major girl crush on Lauren Conrad. I love her. I think she's fantastic. I've got both of her books behind me up there, Style and Beauty. I've read all of her fiction books. I Own Her Clothes. I think she's fantastic. Don't know why, but I just really love her. So I was really excited when I found out she was, about a year ago, I found out when she was bringing this book out, and I immediately pre-ordered it, and I've just been waiting for it to come since then. And these sort of books, I don't know how everyone else uses them. I read them cover to cover. I literally sit down with them and read them like they're a novel. And that's what I do. I've done it with all my beauty books up there. That's just what I do. Does everyone else do that, or do you just dip into them and go, oh, I want to know how to do makeup or this particular, I'll go here. I don't really know how people use them, but for me, I read these cover to cover. So I started reading this in the car, and it started off with a story of Lauren telling you about when when her family threw her mum a surprise birthday party for her 30th. So straight away I was like, oh, this sounds really fun, because it's obviously not only showing you sort of tips and tricks for parties, it's also got nice little stories in it, which I really like. There's a section in here about weddings, and obviously planning my wedding, so I'll be reading that. There's a section in here about parties, and I'm actually planning a party at the moment, so really useful, I think, and I love her books. Can't wait to read it. This one, like I said, I got off Amazon. I think it was about £12 or £13. So yeah, I really like that one. Can't wait to read it. The next book I got was from The Works. For people who are not familiar with The Works, I never quite know how to describe it, because I mainly go in there for books, but they have kind of colouring books, arts and crafts, calendars, stationery. It's kind of a little bit of everything in The Works, but at a really discounted price, and I absolutely love it. Cannot go to my local shopping centre without popping into The Works just to see if they have any new books or anything like that. So I was in there quite a few weeks ago now. Well, I say quite a few weeks, it was probably about 3 weeks ago, so I don't know if they still have this book in there. I find with The Works you have to get it when you see it, because if you go back they might not have it again, particularly in sort of hardbacks and autobiographies. So I was in there and I picked up the Khloe Kardashian Strong Looks Better Naked. I wanted to read this book when it first came out, but it was quite expensive on Amazon. For the hardback, I think it was maybe like £12, £13, £14, something like that, which you think it's quite a small hardback in terms of book thickness. It's not a huge book, so I was like, oh, I don't really want to pay that much for it. And then even on Kindle it was like £8, something like that, which I just thought, no, I'll wait and hopefully it will go down. So I went into The Works, and by chance I saw this one, and it was either £3 or £5. I can't remember Witch, but it was no more than £5, which I thought was brilliant for the hardback. And then I like the fact that it was actually quite a small hardback, because big books can sometimes be a bit daunting when you're like, oh, this is going to take me months to read. But no, I really wanted to read this, so when I saw that it was like £5, I was like, I'm going to pick that up. And as far as I'm aware, this book is, I've kind of flicked through it, and it's very much kind of lifestyle change, kind of accepting yourself and becoming more comfortable in your own skin. So there's, you know, it's about beauty, food, exercise, and that kind of healthy change of lifestyle, which I'm really into at the moment. I'm into, obviously I'm on the weight loss journey with the whole Weight Watchers and Slimming World and things like that, but I'm also becoming a lot more aware of just my body generally and what I'm putting into my body and the good things I want to put into it. So I'm really loving reading books like this, so I can't wait to get stuck into this one. I haven't had a chance yet. I've just got so many books. Pretty much this whole shelf here behind me is my kind of must read shelf, and there's another shelf just behind the camera that's also my must read shelf, and I just keep adding more and more books to it, and yet buying loads on my Kindle at the same time, so I'm not actually getting to read any of the ones I want to read. So the other ones, I'm just going to bring the bag over here, I got from, where should we start with? Let's start with the Works, since we're talking about the Works. So again, the other day I popped into the Works, separate trip to when I got the Khloe Kardashian book, and I picked up 3 books. The Works do 3 books for £5, so you're talking about £1.75 per book, which is pretty cheap with most books. So the first one I picked up was Jenny Colgan, Summer at the Little Beat Street Bakery. Now, I love Jenny Colgan's books. My favourite ones are Meet Me at the Cupcake Cafe and Christmas at the Cupcake Cafe. I like them. I've read Rosie Hopkins, Sweet Shop of Dreams, and I've read The Little Beach Street Bakery, so I wanted to read the sequel to it. But again, on paperback it was like $7.99. On Kindle it was still £3 or £4. So I was just waiting for it to go down. That's generally what I do. I don't like to just buy lots of books and have them on my Kindle, and then I just find I don't get around to reading them, so I'd rather wait and buy the book when I want to read it. So when I went in there and I saw this book, I was like, fantastic. It's pretty much about £1.75, which I know is cheaper than on Amazon for paperback or Kindle, so I picked it up. So it's another one I can't wait to read, and you know, obviously it's summer at the Little Beach Street Bakery, so I feel like this obviously could be quite a good summer read. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next book I picked up in the Works was the Doris Day Vintage Film Club. Now, I've seen this one advertised on Amazon, and it was a book that I was kind of like, oh, I'm interested in reading that, but it's not like one I'm like, oh, I must read straight away. So I kind of didn't buy it, but then when I saw it was in there and it was in the 3 for £5, I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick it up. I thought the cover's really pretty, exactly the same as with the Jenny Colgan books. All Jenny Colgan's paperbacks have got the most beautiful covers. Some of her books I have on Kindle and some of them I have paperback. I've got Meet Me Christmas at the Cupcake Cafe up there, right at the top, and that's got a beautiful cover. Behind me I've got The Loveliest Chocolate Shop in Paris, also a beautiful cover. I'm a sucker for a book with a good cover, and when it's a book that's got this kind of raised embellishment pattern, oh, you sold it to me. So I'm really excited to read that one as well, and I think the cover's really cute, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking very much at the moment for holiday reads, so all the books I'm buying, I'm thinking, could that be a holiday read? Could that one be? So I bought those 2, and then it was 3 for £5, so I was like, right, I want to pick up another one, because say, sucker for an offer. So I picked up this one, and I've never heard of this book before I went into the Works, and it's called The Little Village School. And I read the back of it, and I love books that are kind of quite quaint, set in little villages, because I'd love to live in a little country village myself, so I love any kind of book that's set in a small quaint little village and it's about the people who live in these little kind of villages. I love it. So I read this, and I believe it's about a teacher who arrives in a new village in a new school. So I thought, love that, it's got all the elements of a book I'm going to love. So I thought, yep, I'll give that one a go. So that completed my sort of 3 for £5 in the works. The other book I got while I was in the works was this one. And this is the Frozen Art Therapy colouring book. So it's one of adult colouring books, probably seen them 1,000 times before. I do have an adult colouring book, but I've been seeing so many people with the kind of Disney ones and Harry Potter ones that I was like, I want that. And as I was saying in my previous video, I look for, I like to have a lot of stuff to do on the plane, so I picked this up as a potential something that can keep me occupied on my plane trip to Florida. This and some pencils while I watch a film, hopefully that will keep me occupied. So I'm going to try it out before Florida to see if it is something I do like, because to be honest I already own one of these adult colouring books and I've not used it a huge amount, so I want to make sure that I'm not taking it for nothing. But this was £5 and it's Disney's Frozen, which I thought was really cute. Later on that day we went to Costco, and while in Costco I found another one of these adult colouring books, and this one was the Harry Potter one. This is just the standard Harry Potter colouring book. There was one that I think was like mystical creatures or magical creatures, something like that. This one in Costco was £4.79, and they actually had the Disney Princess one and the Disney Frozen one that I'd already bought that day in the works for the same price as this one. So I was like, oh no, I've lost 21p or something like that. So it didn't really bother me that much, but I'm always like, oh, when I could have got something cheaper elsewhere. But yeah, Costco did have this one, they had the Disney Princess, and they had both of the Harry Potter ones. I'd seen this Harry Potter one in Sainsbury's. I've seen it full price, and I think in Sainsbury's it was about £6. So the fact I got it a little bit cheaper, I thought I'm not going to find it cheaper than like £4.79. I'm going to pick that up. This one's a lot lighter than this one, so I'm thinking if it comes to taking one on the plane, it will probably be this one because it is a lot lighter. The pictures in this one are really nice. Just show you, there's some really nice ones. Like, you actually have full-on pictures of like Harry and Ron and Hermione that you can colour in. Obviously a lot of these books, sometimes it's just kind of patterns based on the film, but I love the fact that this one is a full-on sort of proper colouring book, and you can colour in the characters and there's pictures of the castle. I thought that was really cute. So at the moment I think when it comes to the plane, that one is kind of edging forward a little bit, but I will give it a try before I make any decisions about taking them with me or not. And the final book I bought was also in Costco, and I really thought my luck was in this day. When I saw this I was like, oh, are you kidding me? What sort of, how lucky that I found another one. So the next book I got was another Jenny Colgan, and it was The Little Shop of Happily Ever After. This book is currently on my wish list on Amazon, and there's a sample of it in my Kindle samples folder. On my Kindle I have a sample folder, so any books I'm interested in reading I download the sample. So if I ever get to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to read, I'll go to the sample and I'll read a few samples and I'll pick a book. But this was one, like I said, I love Jenny Colgan's work, so this was a book I knew I wanted to read. And again, it was £3.79, so I think, I'm not sure, I think it's a similar price to what it would have been on Kindle, but it's quite a new book out. This book only came out a couple of months ago, so I think it might still be a little bit more expensive than £3.79 on Kindle because it is a new book. But even if it isn't, like I said, I love her covers, so the fact I found it in a paperback so cheap was what really appealed to me, because if I'd have wanted to buy the paperback on Amazon I would have paid a lot more for it, or if I wanted to buy it in Waterstones. So I'm definitely building up my little Jenny Colgan paperback collection of books. It's terrible really, because I buy books on Kindle and I love the books on my Kindle, and I am the sort of person, I like to flip between the Kindle and the paperback. Sometimes I'm really in the mood to use my Kindle, and other times I'm like, I really want to read a paperback and kind of get that book feel. But with the Jenny Colgan books, half of them I have on Kindle and half of them I have on paperback, but because they're all such beautiful covers I want to repurchase them as just paperbacks so they can sit on my shelf and look really pretty, which I know is bad because it's just a complete waste of money, but I really want to do it. It's like, I love Kathy Bramley books, and she writes kind of little 4-part novella series. I think it's like her 5th series that she's releasing now that I'm currently reading on Kindle. And at the end of the release of the 4 parts, she then releases them in a paperback, and the covers are just exquisite. And I'm like, I really want to buy the paperbacks to have it on my shelf, but I can't justify spending another £5 on a book when I've already spent £5 buying the individual sections of the Kindle ones. And I can't wait for them all to be released and it to go into paperback to read it, because I just love her work so much. I'm like, I've got to buy them straight away. But yeah, I'm a sucker for a good paperback, and the covers on these are just so beautiful. So this is another one I'm really looking forward to reading. I believe this one is about a lady who goes off and starts running her own little derelict bookshop. I think it's kind of a rundown bookshop, and she goes off and starts running it. So the fact it's kind of bookshop related, loving that even more, and I can't wait to get stuck into that, which I've said about all of these books really, so I don't know which one I'm going to read first because I don't think I'll be able to decide. So that, let me just check, that is it. That is all the books I bought. It was quite a little haul actually, because a lot of the time, like I said, the books I buy will be on Kindle, so it's not often I go into a shop and I buy that many books in one go. So the fact I did, I was like, oh, I need to share it. This is obviously my first video I have done to do with books. I'd love to do more. I'm really interested in doing things like book reviews, monthly favourites of the books I've been reading. At the moment I have a Goodreads account, and I am trying to read 50 books this year. I'm a little bit behind on that at the moment, but I'm really trying to do that. I mean, like I said, I read a lot anyway, but trying to aim for 50 a year, or 50 this year, I just think it's kind of a fun little target to set myself. So I'm constantly reading, so I'd love to do more book videos for you if people would be interested in that. So if you would like that, give me a thumbs up so I know that, yeah, I can do some more of these videos. And until next time, I will see you soon. Bye bye.